Hey, honeys. Welcome back to Life as a Question Mark podcast here. This is the podcast where you never know what is going to be happening next. Heck, I never even know what is happening next until it is happening. And I am the host that always keeps you on your toes and is such a question mark of a person, Heather Dodman. And before I go into our main topic of this episode, I have some fun stories to share with you all. These stories are all from when I was the substitute teacher for middle and high schoolers for the 2022 through 2023 school year. So the first story is how I became to them Miss Britt Barbie. So I was substituting the group of 8th graders for our art class. And all of a sudden, towards the end of class, they go, "Miss D, do you have a TikTok account?" And I'm like, maybe. And they go, "Well, do you?" And I go, "Maybe." And they go, "Well, if we found your TikTok, would you tell us?" I go, "That depends." And they go, "Well, can we show you this TikTok to see if it's you?" I'm like, "Sure." So they showed me it, and it wasn't mine. At that point, they hadn't found it. It took them 3 months after to find it. But anyway, that's besides the point. They found an account that's called Britt Barbie, and they go, "Wow, you look just like her." It's like, how do you guys figure? And they go, "Well, if she didn't wear fake eyelashes, then you guys would look just alike it." They showed me a picture of her without the eyelashes and makeup and stuff, and one with it. And I showed my mom this. They go, "Wow, they're pretty smart. That does look like you." And I'm not sure if it's because we both have round faces or what, but it's like, okay. So ever since then, they want to do as a joke. They go, "Can we call you Miss Britt Barbie?" And I go, "I don't see why not." So ever since then, they've called me Miss Britt Barbie. And honestly, I support it. I think it's funny. They could be calling me other names. So, it's not the worst thing in the world to be called Miss Britt Barbie. And then another story is that I talked about in season 1, episode 1, introducing myself as a host. I discussed how I use Hey Honeys and how I got it from Paige, Jen, Chelsea Lynn, and Chelsea Lynn's cousin, Justine, in their viral podcast. And that's not the only reason why I say it. I say Hey Honeys also because when my students did find my TikTok, they thought it was an absolute riot and they just loved it. So I kind of use it as a salute to them as well. Yep, there's my car. Yep. Hi, car. So, yep, that's where we're on podcast again, but we'll talk about that later. So that's fine. Oh, and because the Hey Honeys on TikTok, they also called me Miss Honeys, which, that's kind of funny. I'm not even gonna lie. They're clever little jerks. And honestly, I miss seeing and working with these students. And I generally did love working with them. It was just an admin thing, and, well, who's disposable now? And I talk about why I had to leave substitute teaching in season 1, episode 2, why I'm leaving substitute teaching. And I love seeing my past students and how excited they generally are to see me. One of them did ask to take a picture with me, and I said yes, so I know that there's one floating around somewhere. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And my Instagram and TikTok handle is at Misty's World 2022 as a salute to them. Because to my students, I was known as Misty, and I began substitute teaching at 2022. My original handle for both those was Has Lili, and my students questioned why my handles were like that. I told them it was from my high school, and I realized on my own, and I haven't told anyone else this, but it brought me back to high school years, and how my username reflected one of the very few good times I've had in my all 13 years of school, K through 12. But it also brought back some negative memories when I say that. When I thought about why it was my username, it brought back some trauma. So, subconsciously, my students helped me rename my handles without even knowing it. And it's another way how to salute all my past students, especially those who I liked, which was a good majority of them, except for an annoying bunch of them, especially a majority of last year's 8th grade young males, because of how immature they were. They still are. Yeah, I see you guys on my TikTok. So I just had to take a moment to share these stories because I keep seeing my students generally happy to see me. And I have been thinking of topics for future episodes and how I am not only going to be making you all aware of these topics, but how I am also going to educate you all on these topics in future episodes. Kind of like in today's episode. Dance can be so dang expensive. Take it from me. And I understand that for sure, especially being an adult. But you don't have to worry, because they gave me a very special discount code to share with all of you. If you use the discount code Heather80 at checkout, then you'll receive 80% off your entire order. That's right, 80% off your entire order. What a bargain. Make sure that you are using the discount code Heather80 at checkout on ballettsets.com. Make sure that you and your loved ones are ready and stacked for this year's dance season and looking glamorous too. Today's episode is on a topic that I have been looking forward to doing for a very long time now, but haven't really gotten to it because I planned my topic a little bit ahead of time. There's a method to my madness, I promise. One is to help a topic in the previous episode set up for the next episode. For example, I did season 1, episode 8, talking about bullying, where I talked about bullying in the episode. And then in the next week's episode, I did season 1, episode 9, opening a smidge about being bullied, where I talked about being bullied all throughout my schooling years. Just a smidge though, because we'd be here forever still, if I was still doing that episode. Or I plan to have episodes for certain weeks because it could be a special day or event or whatever it is. Just like it did for season 1, episode 12, talking about historical events, especially 9/11. Of course, I missed publishing it by a couple of days because my life has been overly ridiculous lately, but it's fine. At least I still published it on the week of 9/11, so it's okay since I still recognized it. However, there weren't really a lot of social media posts on 9/11, and I didn't really even notice it myself till a work friend brought it up to me the next day when I was talking to her about my podcast I was working on. Also, I do have to take into consideration that I can't always do the topic that I originally planned for because of such a chaotic life. And life just happens, so I just have to pull something completely random out of my butt and make it into an episode somehow. Which is exactly what season 1, episode 13, Sitting with Heather was. Which I did not make last week's date either. Which that's my bad for having a chaotic life, but we're doing the best we can. We're doing great, sweeties. And by the way, did you like my ADHD moment? I have some of those sometimes. It's so fun. Also, I believe that it was my 3rd episode that I recorded in my car. And now it's my 4th because obviously you heard my car in the background. So that's been fun and interesting. All that great stuff. With myself being on the go a lot, not being able to record at home because, well, good luck with that nonsense. And I mean that because it gets loud and a whole bunch of stuff that my mic would probably pick up. Which, I'll talk about my mics in a minute. And not having a place to leave my equipment set up without having to worry about it getting touched or damaged or just having nowhere else to do it. I just mostly pull over and go into a quiet place to go record. So, I mean, it's all great. It's all great. I pick places where not a lot of traffic goes by while I'm doing it, so even if they do go by, my mic is so great. It barely picks up any background noise. It does pick up noise, like if the microphone shakes, if my car somehow makes random noises, as you've heard, people are talking in the background, if one of my fur babies or somebody else's fur babies decides to make a noise or something else. That's really all it catches, and I can't really complain about that because, you know, I got my microphones at a decent price on Amazon, so, I mean, pretty good quality. I can't complain. So yeah, it's really my only option right now to record in a car, so it doesn't really help that I'm trying to keep up with a time frame for this podcast, my hectic schedule, but it's all fine. It's all great. We're making it work. We're trying to do the thing. And would you look at that? My ADHD just snuck in right there and took off after all. Just found a way to get into this podcast once again. Anyways, should we get into today's episode? I mean, probably, right? Who loves feeling pretty and gorgeous jewelry? In that case, meet Juno Valentina, a jewelry brand that was first inspired by Greek mythology and started as a passion project that grew into being ethical. Jewelry can be so overwhelming for most people. The new trends, the do's and don'ts, the silver or gold, and so many more variables, including the hefty price tag that comes with it. Juno Valentina vows to always produce designs and collections free from all that. Every single one of their items can be paired with any outfit, mood, or style and still leave you looking fabulous. At top of their very affordable prices, Juno Valentina has given me a discount code to share with all of you. If you use Donovan20728 at checkout, you will get 20% off your entire purchase. Wow, what a bargain! Make sure you use Donovan20728 at checkout to receive 20% off your entire purchase and help you look and feel more fabulous than you already are. Today we are talking about angel numbers. So what are angel numbers? Angel numbers are number sequences that are usually 3 or 4 numbers long that contains repetition and or patterns. These numbers can show up in random places such as price tags, phone numbers, clocks, timers, your total for a purchase at the cash register at the store you're out shopping at, license plates, and many other miscellaneous places and things. It is believed that these numbers are messages from the spiritual universe that offers insight, wisdom, and directionality. Whether one assigns them to angels, guides, ancestors, spirits, or simply a higher state of your own consciousness, angel numbers can confirm that you are on the right path, shed invaluable insight on a complicated situation, or even illuminate the powerful mystical meaning behind recurring themes that you experience throughout your lifetime. I have had an array of angel numbers come up whenever I think about a certain situation or a certain situation is happening, or if I think about if I should be doing something different with my life and just things like that. Even though I have had an array of angel numbers come in, especially lately, the same ones always come through for whatever reason. Even if I don't know what it means, I still don't. I will not be sharing the angel numbers I have been seeing a lot because I personally believe that that's between myself and the spiritual realm. I am also still trying to decipher what they could mean for myself and my life. The power and significance of repeating integers has actually been around for hundreds of years. The ancient Greek philosopher Pythagoras was a brilliant mathematician, but in addition to inventing the unique quantum solution that we all hate today, believed that our reality is a physical manifestation of the energetic vibration of numbers. A few thousand years later, an author by the name of Dorian Virtue, that name sounds familiar. I don't know why though, published dozens of books in the early 2000s on angel numbers, coining the term and exploring the unique mystical messages baked into number sequences. Since then, over the past 2 decades, this concept has been around ever since. Angel numbers do not shed light on your identity, but rather the ways in which you were moving through the world. Another important characteristic of angel numbers are that they are extremely fluid. One could be followed by angel numbers for years, or one can experience an angel number's singular occurrence. Each angel number has its very own personal meaning. In saying that, all different numbers carry different symbolisms. One could work with the powerful spiritual interpretations of digits to understand the meaning behind certain sequences and what it could be trying to tell them. 0 is associated with new opportunities. When you witness 0 in a sequence such as 000 or 0000, or within a pattern such as 303 or 2020, for example, this could signify a fresh start. You're at the very beginning of a brand new cycle, which means you can create whatever your heart desires. Don't be afraid to make big, bold decisions at this point in your journey. 1 is a very powerful manifestation figure. If you encounter 1 as an angel number such as 111 or 1111, or within a pattern, relish the opportunity to make a wish, set an intention, or plant a seed, as this is believed to indicate a green light from the universe. You are working with extraordinary support from your angels, guides, or ancestors, so at that moment, the present and future are dynamically connected. 2 suggests balance, trust, and alignment. Experiencing 2 such as 222, 2222, or within a pattern could mean that someone, either in the physical realm or spiritual domain, is helping you get where you need to go. Seeing 2s can indicate that it is an excellent time to reach out to your most trusted companion to see if divine collaboration is possible. 3 is an indication of magnetic creativity. Noticing 3 as 333, 3333, or within an angel pattern could mean that you have the opportunity to add your unique talents and abilities to a situation. Moreover, the presence of 3 indicates that by leaning into your infinite gifts, you'll find more valuable in abundance in whatever circumstance that you are navigating. 4 symbolizes stabilization. Observing 4 as 444, 4444, or within a pattern suggests that you are in the process of grounding, rooting, and cultivation and infrastructure that's typically built to last. In interacting with 4, don't be afraid to ask for help or assistance, especially if you're navigating long-term projects that require specific expertise. Fundamentally, this is about establishing trust that will empower you to reach new heights. The presence of 5 suggests that major changes could be on the horizon. If you've been feeling stuck, stifled, or inspired, using 5 such as 555, 5555, or within a pattern reveals that massive shifts may be in the works for you. For now, these transformations may be occurring behind the scenes. In other words, key decision makers are still weighing options, but if 5 appears as an angel number, it suggests that you're on the right track. Although some may fear 6, especially 666, because of religious associations with the devil or demon figures within the angel numbers, 6s such as 666, 6666, or within a pattern, have supportive, compassionate, and empathetic nature. 6 can be a gentle, much-needed reminder to treat yourself with kindness and understanding. Things may not go accordingly to plan, but with the angel number 6 on your side, You know that you can choose how you want to interpret a situation, remembering of course that everything happens for a reason. 7 is not only known as a lucky number, but also as lucky as it could be in a casino and in life. Experiencing the number 7 as 777, 7777, or within a pattern, it means that good fortune, especially with finance-wise, could be on the way. New monetary opportunities may arise, so 7 invites you to branch out and explore possibilities beyond your comfort zone. Short-term gains may become lucrative, consistent income streams, so integrating your spirituality with your values is the perfect expression of this energy. One of the most divine numbers in numerology is 8. Observing this digit such as 888, 8888, or within a pattern could reflect a connection to the spiritual universe in a powerful way. Those who believe in an afterlife may see 8 as a sign that they're receiving supernatural support from loved ones whom has crossed on. Fundamentally, 8 is a symbol of infinity, the endless loop that transcends any singular lifetime. So do not be afraid to dive into your intuition when this angel number appears. As the final digit in numerology, the presence of 9 suggests that a chapter may be coming to an end. Witnessing 9 such as 999, 9999, or within a pattern is a sign that a meaningful cycle could be coming to a close, and that you will be beginning a brand new journey. This is an excellent time to step outside of your comfort zone, expand your horizons, and explore new territory. Whether you're interested in venturing into a new career or going back to school, the spiritual universe will be sure to support your courageous choices. Also, an angel number does not always show up in a repetitive pattern such as 202 or 1010. They could also show up as patterns, and I did not know this, such as 321 or 456. That is why you should always be paying attention when it comes to angel numbers, because they could come up in many different ways and patterns. It is also important when you see an angel number that you are aware of where you are and what you are doing and what you are thinking about when one arises. The spiritual realm could be trying to send you a message. And I had a fun project or at-home thing for you to do, whatever you want to call it. But however, I'm not going to share that right now because I think that I could make it into a business somehow or a product. I don't know how it even work or how to get it done. But I mean, hey, they're getting my podcast done out in the car, right? I guess anything's possible. So yeah, we're going to hold that one in the back burner, guys. And sorry about that, who would be generally interested in doing it. But, you know, if I tend to making a business or something else, I know, even from not being a business, that people will generally stab you in the back and take your idea just because and not give you any credit for it. So we're not doing that. So, you know, it is what it is. Sorry, guys. So for Big Brother this week, it was a very boring week and so predictable. I'm so glad they've got Jared out, and I'm hoping that he doesn't come back and that Cameron wins the zombie thing, competition, whatever it is, and comes back into the game. In other notes I have, there's this one TikTok, and I'm going to post it to my social medias. Of course, giving credit to the person who made it. And there's, oh my god, it's so funny. And it's kind of catchy. And it's like somebody made a mixture of like what Felicia has said in the game and stuff on my feeds or whatever on TV. And it's just a mixture of things. I'll have to post a video of it. But it basically goes, fucking Molly Jane, fucking Molly Jane, fucking Molly Jane, fucking Molly Jane. And it's like that for a whole entire, I don't even know, 4 minutes. Something like that. It's very catchy. It's so funny. I see it to myself quite a bit. And also, I just wanted to share this too. Well, yeah, I wanted to bring this point up. A lot of people think that Nicole could win Big Brother. And honestly, she could. Yes, it's a very boring way to win it for us as people because we love the drama. Even I don't like to be in the drama. Well, I like to create it at some points. But, like, only if I'm in the mood to. But, I mean, it is a good way for her to win because then she's not on anybody's radar. She has not been on anybody's radar throughout the whole entire game. They're using her for votes. Nobody's talking about going after her, so I mean, she has a good shot of winning it. And there's even been talks of Bowie Jane possibly winning it, but honestly, I don't see that one happening because people are talking way too much about Bowie Jane, so I do not think that's going to happen. So, that's my notes on Big Brother 25 for right now. Let's see. Oh, and I got one more story before we skedaddle right out of here. So I was watching the challenge. Oh god, I can't remember what day it was. It was episode 10 though, of the Challenge USA Season 2. My mom walked in as Josh was getting ready to put his ball in, and she goes, "Is that guy from Big Brother?" I go, "Yeah, that's Josh." She goes, "Why the hell is he crying now?" Guys, it is bad, because this woman does not remember some TV shows. Because obviously it's not important. But she remembers this guy crying constantly. That is so bad. And I did turn to her, I go, surprisingly, he's made it 10 episodes without crying. She goes, really? I go, yeah, it's a record for him in a season. But I just wanted to share that story because it's just a kicker to me. So anyway, with all that being said, that concludes this week's episode. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and tell your favorite stranger about the podcast. And when I say tell your favorite stranger about the podcast, the joke is that we've always been taught to not talk to strangers when we grew up. And that's what my joke is. It's like that little throwback to what all your parents were telling you, don't talk to strangers. Well, that's why I just say tell your favorite strangers. That's the little joke. I just had to take a moment and explain that because people don't get that, which it's fine, I get it. Anyway, you can follow and converse with the podcast and other listeners of the podcast by following the podcast Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Life as a podcast. Well, for TikTok and Instagram, I think I changed it to Life as a pod. I love hearing from you all, and I love hearing your feedback on the podcast. I love hearing what the podcast could do better on, what you'd love to hear about, what you didn't like, all that good stuff. You can also follow myself on my own personal Instagram and TikTok at MissDeesWorld2022. You can also find the link tree to all the information and all the social media pages that I just mentioned above. You can also find the podcast website in the link tree, which I will make that video this week on how one can listen to my podcast through my website, and you can share that with your favorite strangers as well. You can also show your love and support for the podcast by donating to the pod. You could do that by clicking the support link in the show notes that is in every episode, subscribing to the pod on the podcast website, or by hitting the payment button on the link tree. Hi, car. Anyway, when you make a see, even my car agrees that you should make a donation. When you make a donation, no matter how big or small, I will give you a personalized shout out on an episode of the podcast. And if you are not in the shout outs, that's okay. I got you. I could deliver special messages to you to somebody else. I could do proposals. I could do writing proposals. I could give somebody a bad news that you want a divorce from them. I could tell someone to pick their damn clothes off the floor or anything you pretty much want to an extent. Whatever it is, I will make whatever it is personal for you for taking the time to donate to us and to show my appreciation to all of you. Please make your donations through family friends though. All donations will go directly towards the podcast only. Which in last episode I did mention that I'm working towards an LLC for the pod, and that is still true. But the minimum price tag for an LLC, I've looked into it, and everywhere is $200. So, and unfortunately, this girl right here doesn't have enough for that. So, if you would like to help, make a donation, and I will very gladly be appreciated. Because then I could work at making it a business, not only a business, but I could make a business account to make all the financials separate and help the podcast grow. And the donation can also go towards paying subscriptions I use to edit podcast episodes every week, or that I use to get the website for a podcast. All that stuff. So please, donate if you can. It's very gladly appreciated and will help the podcast go as far as it can. Always remember to keep your eyes and mind open. You never know if you are missing a sign or a message from the universe. Thank you for listening. I'll talk to you guys next week.